Today I would like to show you how to get your trial balance to balance, and it could be for Monopoly, for any other homework problem that you might be doing. So here is an example of a trial balance, and if we look at the very bottom, I have roughly 686,000 versus 504. So we are out of balance. What's the first step? Please scan your debit and credit column both, looking for abnormal balances. So for example, dividends is one of those favorite ones because it happened to be on a debit side, debit normal balance, among all the credits up here. So it's quite often that a student might put it right here on the credit side. In this case, seems like we all good, so it's not my error. What will be the next step? I am going to foot the trial balance. What does it mean to foot? Well, it's an audit term where I will add all the numbers to make sure that it's mathematically agrees to what's written on the trial balance. I am going to use Excel, and I strongly recommend doing the same. Why? I don't have to re-enter all these numbers. You enter them once and you just use them from one step to the next one. So I opened up Excel, I put TB, which is trial balance, up here so I know what it belongs to, and I simply added, like you will be on a calculator, all the balances down, so all my debits, and here's my credit column. What's next? Oh, by the way, to make it easier to read, if you want to click on this one, and I'm going to put a comma style numbers. So I'm going to come up to comma here. So now they've got commas, but they've got two digits after the commas. That's too many. So I'm going to get rid of them. So now it's nice and easy. What's next? To know my balances, I will come up here and go to the tab that says Formulas. Under Formulas, there's one big one, AutoSum. So if you click AutoSum, Excel is very smart. It highlights the numbers that it thinks you mean to sum. And yep, that's correct. Just hit Enter. Okay. You can do the same with the credit column, or simply, if you come up here in the corner until it shows up as a plus, drag it to the other side and it copies the formula. So now I've got my debits and credits done on both sides. And I have 686,650. That's what exactly the sheet says. And I have 569,750. This is not what this page says. I have up here 504,815. So one error that was just found, the trial balance does not foot. So I'm not gonna do it, but usually I would cross it out and write the correct amount. So this is mathematically does not add up. Before I make the final judgment, I'm gonna double check that the credits here and credits in my columns are the same, so I didn't enter anything wrong. So well, good. Now I'm gonna take the difference between to see how much I'm off. So I'm gonna click up here, hit equal sign, and I'm gonna click that I want to take this number, put a minus, and I want to subtract this number, and then simply hit Enter. We're off by 116,900, quite a bit. Something this big of a number tells me that the error most likely is not in the journal. We simply don't have such big numbers up here. So most likely I'm thinking it's got to be math calculations somewhere in the ledgers. So what shall I do next? I am going to trace my balances from the ledgers all the way up to the trial balance to make sure that I didn't have another error and simply transpose a number somewhere. So here's my cash, and it says 18,570. I go to the trial balance. You can do it in Excel. 18,570. So right there, I am going to write, you can see it very well now, TB, which stands for trial balance. I agreed this number to my trial balance. Why? So when I go back, I know I did already the work. So I don't have to circle around and do the same thing. So I'll go number after number. I agreed them all. It's all good. So Haven't found my error yet. What's next? I am going to foot, meaning sum, all the T-account ledgers to make sure that there's not a math error in there. So the first one is cash, and I simply already put it in the next Excel spreadsheet up here to make it easier for me. So here's my original trial balance, here's my cash. When I added it up, I put my sums in there, and the balance is $18,570, just like it appears in the ledger. So this one is correct. Accounts receivable 108,200. When I put it in there, it's 108,200. Next one is prepaid insurance, and it appears here as 129,000. When I entered the two numbers, I realized that the person did not line up the digits, and that's how the error showed up. There's one too many zeros up here. So I'm going to cross it out, and it actually should be 12,900 only. Very easy. I'm going to come up to my trial balance, click enter, and click the column, the cell that has the correct balance, 12,900. Hit enter. I don't need to re-enter anything. The rest of the balances stayed the same. So right now my difference is only 800. Now this digit, this number is nice and rounded. So what do I do next? I am going to go to the journal this time. Okay, so here's my journal, and this time I will carefully look for 800. Is there 800? No, there's no 800. I'm gonna divide my 800 then in half, 400. I have a $400 transaction right there, and it's hard to see what goes where because there are no lines. That tells me I should delete this page of Moodle and put the one with the lines. Otherwise, the lines get confusing. So I think this goes with this, this goes with this, this goes with this, this goes with this. So this should have gone to 106, and this should have gone to 104. Okay, so I'm going to see 106 debited for 400. So 106 debited for 400. Yep, it's right here. I'm going to put a check mark. I know I did it. So I'll go back up here and I put a nice check mark. Yep, I did it. Now I'm going to look for account 115, 400 credited. Where is it? 115. Oops, right there. It doesn't like. It looks like to me that 400 went to 104 and it's debited again. Okay, and it should have been most likely on the credit side right there. Oh, it was not 115, it was 104. So I should have looked at 104. Here's the 104, but 400 should be on the credit side. Okay, so I'm looking at the office supplies ledger. 2 debits, that's 3,700 minus 400 gives me 3,300 as my balance, and I am going to agree to the trial balance. So I'm gonna go back and change 4,100 to 3,300, and let's see, we got rid of the difference. So now we're all good. I'm just going to go ahead and change those numbers and put them on the trial balance. Now this is a problem, and it does not have subledgers in Monopoly. One more thing that you need to do absolutely is to agree your subledger, those purple ones, to the ledger accounts. For example, you will go exactly to your land account, balance is 75,000. So you got to go to the subledger and see at the very bottom you have total for day 1 and then total for day 2. So you must agree balances again in the ledgers to the subledgers for land, houses and hotels, railroad and utilities, and your bank loans. That's it. Good luck.